Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Solomon Live. My name is Brody. I'm the Provincial Communications Officer for the distinguished province of Worcestershire, and also the host of these monthly webinars. And tonight we are live from Freemasons Hall. Tonight we are in the Museum of Freemasonry. Our very special guest is Mark Dennis. So what we're doing is letting you in nice and early to get yourself in place before we start our wonderful conversation. If you think you know this jewel in the crown of Freemasonry, I guarantee in the next 45 minutes, you will know a lot more. Thanks to our very special guest. And we'll be starting in around, a couple of minutes' time. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Solomon Live. My name is Brody. I'm the Provincial Communications Officer for Worcestershire, and the wonderful thing this month is they've let me out of my little office. I'm in Freemasons Hall and in the Museum of Freemasonry for a night at the museum. We're going to bring all of the atmosphere of this wonderful place to you in just a couple of minutes' time. So stand by, everybody. We'll begin in just a moment. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Solomon Live. We should begin in just a moment, just making sure we get as many people in place as we possibly can. And our webinar this evening, our Solomon Live, is a night at the museum. Mark, are you ready to go? Oh, I certainly am. Should we do this? Should we go live? Let's do it properly. Ladies, gentlemen, and brethren, we are live across the UK. We're live across the world for this evening's Solomon Live. My name is Brody. I'm the Provincial Communications Officer for the distinguished province of Worcestershire, and also the host of these monthly webinars of lively, engaging Freemasonry conversation. Now, you probably noticed that things look a little bit different this evening. There's a reason for that. I've been let out of my box, my office at home, and I'm now in Freemasons Hall in the Museum of Freemasonry for a night at the museum. Now, things may look a little bit different for us tonight, but you can still submit your questions by the question and answer facility on Zoom. So, night at the museum. Wouldn't it be good if we could catch up with the curator of the museum? Mark Dennis, how are you, sir? Very well, thank you. You are real, aren't you? So I'm not really used to seeing things on a screen. So just double checking.
Well, I feel the same way with Zoom. You've actually got it back. You know, I expect to see them in the front. I'm very used to being in this place covered with antiques and fine things. I wasn't expecting to start in enterprise on the other side of this counter.
You should see the amount of tech that we've got, Greg, but hopefully we might be able to share that with social media. So look, what we like to do is get to know you before we talk about this wonderful place and the artifacts and the objects that you've got here. So let's begin with your story. What brought you to this wonderful museum as a curator? What was your journey? How did you get here?
Slightly odd. I didn't start as a historian. I was actually a civil servant, Ministry of Defence, Customs and Excise. And by the time I got into my history book, Customs and Excise was starting to create its very first public museum because people thought they were powerful, sinister, and in strange clothes.
Okay, that sounds almost familiar, that, isn't it?
Well, it may be to you, but I can't see it myself. But anyway, I ended up as the service curator. Loved it. I actually got to meet the Duke of Kent because we did an exhibition in Gravesend and he opened it. So I got the curator involved. And after a long time, various other things like human resources, really, historic building management, I did quite like. I decided I was a much better curator than I ever was going to be a customs officer. So I did switch to a captain uniform, took a master's, and went out to the Great White World, which we did.
So how long have you actually been here?
I got here in 1999.
Now, I didn't realise that you've actually been here for so long. So what have you, how have things changed over the years, would you say? So we're talking 24 years now, aren't we?
A lot's changed. Openness was coming around. People remember MQ, the very first magazine, and vehicles to start replacement. I remember the very first PR campaign happening. And generally things are much more relaxed, and the people who come are much more relaxed about the industry. And the building is much more friendly than it was. It's perfectly friendly. Anybody, yes, you had to have the that's push big bronze doors and come in.
So it's interesting to hear how that's changed. I think many of us might be surprised when you say that. And we need to talk here as well, don't we? We need to talk about the kind of visitors that you get here as well. I mean, is it mostly Freemasons? Is it members of the public? A bit of both?
It's changed. When I got here, it was very much Freemasons and passing trade tourists. Now we're getting lots and lots of people coming here who know a little about Freemasons and want to know more. They're exploring their families' connections. So there's a lot of people who've heard of Freemasonry, have a Freemason in the family, and they want to make that connection. I'm very often getting people coming in with a suitcase that they've never opened, and you have to rebuild the man from the things in the suitcase. That's going to change too, because now, of course, you're going to talk about Freemasonry. So that connection we made during the lifetime of the man, which would be much nicer.
Oh, absolutely. And there's probably a lot of people watching all over the country, all over the world. But what is to ask you, are you a Freemason?
No, I'm not.
So you're not a Freemason. Have you got any Freemasons in the family?
Oh, there's a few looking around. Dad, now our past was in forces of the past goes to Williamson, which is maths with Royal Rochester, which also called a certain Mr. Spence, or I believe Rose, my father. My grandfather was actually a Freemason in Gibraltar in the dockyard. And ironically, his lodge was Robert Freefield, the great Sunday historian. So to that day, my mother, which is what my
Yes, which is probably the reason, isn't it? Now, we need to talk about as well what's it like for you when you walk in this building every day. So I come to quite a few meetings here, and I think this building is magnificent. It's probably, no, I will say my favourite building in London. What's it like for you to come in here every single day? I know that you're the curator of this particular museum.
It's completely free. It's an art gallery triumph, but it's actually rather a hybrid building. You've got wood panel corridors, you might be doing 1890s, and then you turn it on something wow, Art Deco. And also, it's a building that's doing what it's designed to do. Even the South Gallery of this museum, pretty much you can see it in 1933 on the line. We've restored the floors. You get a real sense of what it's meant to look like.
And that's really special, isn't it? That's the sense of history that we all pray for in mind, isn't it? That authenticity.
Authenticity is exactly it. A lot of museums redesign themselves to the point where they look like things dance. This, I hope, is sort of on the cusp of being both entertaining and informing and just beautiful.
And when you get people coming here from all different walks of life, Freemasons, non-Freemasons, are there any regular questions that come up when they're talking to you, or talking to you when you start and you've got here?
They're always Freemasons, isn't it? And we deconstruct that and demystify it, because there's very little on television. Obviously, we don't just have the ceremonies. They're also very curious what sort of people become Freemasons.
But people like me, for example. I mean, you know, that's everybody from every single walk of life. Now, let's talk about some of the objects in a bit more that you've chosen, personally influence, and we'll get everybody else to see those as well. But what I thought we could do is talk about why this museum and library is so special, and why people should come into this place.
It is special. One of the oldest museums in the country. We're decades older than the Science Museum of Natural History. In terms of museums, it's about 2,500 museums in the country. 1,700 of them by us were credited, which means they do things in the right way and ethically. Only 155 as a designated collection. And what that means is the government, through the Arts Council, has acknowledged your collections being national and international borders. Wow. 155 over 2,500.
Wow.
It's so full of personal stories, stories about your organisation, links to important people, beautiful objects. One of the reasons why I'm still here, because I do occasionally write articles, I've done the silver art, I've got decorative art medals, trench art. There's no end to the stories you can tell with this collection. And whatever your interest, whether you're a Freemason or not, there's something here for you.
Yeah, and actually talking about you just talked about your own personal life here. 24 years. I mean, you must be in love with this place. Obviously, to spend so much time here. Being a quarter of the century.
It wasn't the plan. I believe when I got bored. I'm waiting for the day. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, we're going to talk about some of the initiatives and some of the exhibitions we put on. But what I thought we could do is get our first question. You got for a question?
I've got for a question.
Now, this is Liam Kenny. He's a regular contributor to Someone Online. And he says, good evening, Mark. Good evening, Liam. Thank you for the time, giving your time this evening. And he says, in the collection, are there any objects that you really struggle to work out what on earth they are? Any real oddities?
We have a quantity. I have my own personal X-Files box, particularly things from the sort of 1700s, where all over Europe, all sorts of ceremonies are cropping up, none of which just didn't survive. And they're very esoteric, they're alchemical. We know that the right period, because we talk to people, for example, down over in the Czech Republic, has found similar jewels in the Attic Palaces. But whether we're able to two together, we do sometimes put them up on a good feed. We've put an ancient pretty right little flying egg up, and it's made of 1,000 hits. So we know some things, you and your people know more.
Yes.
We're very much leaning on the knowledge of people out there, the Freemasons.
And that's interesting, isn't it? That there's some things you're not 100% sure what they are and their history behind them. What about you personally? Do you have a list of some things that you really like to get your hands on?
Yes, and some of it's like and one of the more sensible ones, Lord Moira, when he wrote the deal, created UGLE, was given a fantastic diamond studded jewel with coral. Unfortunately, didn't hear it by my niece, who took the diamonds out of the tiara and broke the collar chain up to make bracelets for her sisters. I know what they look like. If one ever comes up at auction, we'll get it and put it back in Royal Moira's jewelry.
Oh, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And how many items on that hit list would you say?
There's probably about 20 dozen. There are sorts of things out there, and again, we've got some more in data, but there's some we've never found out of sports. Objects that don't like to die, things just appear from nowhere.
And that's what keeps it exciting.
You never know any morning you can see who you're going to talk to, or what the new story might be that you can know.
Well, I get that. Now, I thought we could talk about some of the wonderful exhibitions and initiatives that you've done here over the years. But pick me a couple that you've been really proud of, perhaps in recent years.
Well, where we're sitting is one, because this gallery was created from nothing, using the reserve funds of the museum for the Church of England. And it was an attempt to tell the whole story of each Freemason in one room.
Who's going to hit?
Most of those. But we've done other ones that are very limited. We did one on missionary Freemason and French art, and then there's more things in that they made, for example, in the desert in World War II. Things from the war camps. Things that really speak to Freemasonry in control.
Right. And we've got a few messages to talk about 1723 constitutions and your exhibition here. I think it's safe to say it's been rather successful, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has. It's been a great opportunity to commemorate a book that's not as well known as it should be, but was absolutely known from the way it influenced Freemasonry globally, but the way it is in society. Rick Berman obviously created it alongside myself and Myatt, and it's some very early pieces out. We've got the original Bradwell Clinic of 1753. Two of the most important again at the time. People wanted to do with the man actually at the end of the year of the institution. We've got the personal copy out. We've got another, it's actually dedicated by James Atlas, the actual author. So there's not much actually, you've got museum objects for that, a very early period, but every single one you can find It's there and you can see it now.
Wow. And that must make it extra special for you as well. Now, Ross is speaking. He says, what's the oldest article that you have in this museum?
It's Builder's Mall that was found in Tomb in Thebes.
What?
Yep, ancient Egyptian mall, Mallet.
And where's that? Is that obviously that's not on display, is it?
Yes, we've actually put it out.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely love it. We've got various pieces again. Sort of buildings. We've got the Cleopatra's Palace. Even there's a Cleopatra's Needle, because it was actually shipped back to London at the expense of Freemasons. And one of the bits fell off. We've got various archaeological jewels we've got bits in.
Oh, so there you go. What a great question. So, Ross, thank you very much indeed for asking your question. Keep them coming in, ladies and gentlemen and brethren. Use your procedure, question and answer facility on the bottom of your screen. Now, one of the reasons I'm really excited to come see you today is because it's nice for people to meet you and find out more about the museum. But we gave you a little task to come up with some of those artifacts and objects that really excite you. So what we decided to do is break this up into its phases. So first of all, Mark, royalty. Anything come to mind when it comes to royalty?
There's something my peripheral vision can't quite place it.
This beautiful thing, this beautiful chair. I mean, it's incredible. Tell me about this.
This was created in 1791, the future King George IV. He was the first Royal Freemasons to become king, and Freemasons had just built the first Freemasons Hall, so it's a perfect timing. It cost £157 at the time, which is rather more now, one suspects, and it's immense. He was a very well built chap. There are actually some cushions which we put in it, more than we need to sit in. It also had backpacks. We did actually loan it.
Backpacks.
Oh yes, we loaned it to Tullyhunts and Darlar. The whole thing goes apart like 18th century idea.
It's brilliant. I have no idea if you could do that. And it's the largest thing in your collection.
Yes, by the way, and I think it's the largest one in the country. Because I don't know if Royal Places as materials, I've never seen anything bigger. And it used to be more impressive. As built, it had gold free silk swags all over it, embroidery on the back. Put it back like that, else it would take it. So it's currently looking as it would have been when the Duke of Connaught sat in it. And it would have been just before this building opened.
Now, who's the last person to place their derriere in that chair? I don't mean David Cleaner, who occasionally is actually, waiter. Who's the last person to actually sit in there?
It was the Duke of Kent, because when he became Grand Master, he actually was seated in there. That throne has seen the enthronement of Grand Masters all the way back to the nation when the brothers Kent and Sussex shook hands in the deal, and Sussex sat in the throne for the first time. That's incredible, isn't it? Whether it be used again, we'll have to wait and see. To be fair, we have actually the mannequin that you follow, which is in there. But the general feeling was maybe not. It's quite hard to see what it would have been 100 years ago.
Would you say that is one of the most popular things that you have in this museum?
It's a magnet.
Yeah.
Everybody comes through. Big gold throne. Yes, everybody loves it.
Oh, it's fantastic. It does draw people's attention, and it's the reason why you placed it here when you first come in from the shop into the museum.
Yes, and you see it. It's the centre. We've also on the other wall behind us. We've got a portrait of King George IV. So it's all here in some space. And the Duke of Sussex is over there. So all those buildings can come together.
Okay, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect location for it. So that's Freemasonry and the royal family and royalty. Freemasonry and adversity. Now the world has gone through a lot of adversity, and the same applies to Freemasonry. What objects really come to mind when you think of that side of Freemasonry?
There's one object, and it is said, if I could say one object, only one item in the side, it's that adult pouch in front. It's the ultimate jewel from a clandestine lodge in Changi, Singapore, under Japanese. Even in those conditions, the Freemasons were collecting charity, assisting people in sick berths. They were fortunate the history of Grand Master with them, they were able to initiate. That links everything. It links the friendship, the service, the integrity. It's all there in that one object. And it was actually created from the remains of a hot bus. Cut out between snips. You can still see the paint on the back. It's hidden from the Japanese and returned by the maker. It's a treasured object, even if it's into itself fabulous. There was a certain album.
And one of that example, isn't it? And the way you've explained that and putting all that, the things that we hold dear together. What else would you say applies for you in this collection when it comes to adversity?
Well, with London and the Blitz, we have a number of things related to London and the Blitz, including one of our display cases from 1933 that's got shrapnel damage from Dubai. Near this, only 1 street away. The Tecton Lodge, which was the Carpenters company lodge, lost its livery hall. And its collective data had actually been presented by its mother lodge. But they were carpenters, so they took what was left, they spun a new support for it, pinned it together, kept collecting. And we've got a lot of those. We've got cabinets made from the Guildhall, after the Blitz. Lots of people giving things to the museum during the war, thinking it's going to survive, you're going to survive. I'm sorry to say Tecton Lodge didn't continue, it erased, but it's remembered and it's collecting dishes here, and all its records are preserved forever. And if you're in the unhappy situation secretary, your lodge is closing, we very much want to hear from you so we can preserve your memory and make sure all the right things get kept forever, not just for research, but actually send to your members. Every single document forever.
Keeps it alive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what memories do, and that's what our artifacts do as well. And how important do you think it is for us to look at adversity within Freemasonry?
I think it's important. It shows people the different side of Freemasonry.
Yes, it does.
When they see the fun, they get what people will do it. When they see Freemasons wanting to be Freemasons when it's dangerous and it's difficult, that says a lot more about how Freemasonry is than just being a social club.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows that different side, doesn't it? So we've got the Royal Family and this beautiful chair over here. We've talked about adversity, but let's talk about inclusivity. What does that mean as far as this museum is concerned?
We try to be representative of your stories, and from the outset, Freemasonry has been home for people who are otherwise outside society. We have, for example, Dr. Desiree, one of the founders of the Grand Lodge, even a refugee. There was a Catholic Grand Master between the two, Jack White and Birch. He wouldn't do anything else. He would be Grand Master. We've got a wonderful jewel, it's actually sold on execution. And it's a local family team to bring together different communities in India. And it's got 2 men, Catholic and Mohammed Abbar, Parsi and Muslim, in the costume of local communities, wearing them as papers initiated in the same day. They couldn't easily so far on the street. So that can be used like art.
That is powerful.
And we've got this Jewish moments in the 1920s. And it continues all the way. I mean, you may know that Grand Lodge this year, first time officially participating in the Pride March in London.
Yes.
And we've collected things related to that, not just the gender badges and T-shirts. We also collected from the MCF. We don't just collect Grand Lodge, we collect more widely. And this is stuff that's there. This is stuff that matters. And it gives a very strong message to people who come into this museum that Freemasonry does not exclude. That whatever they may know about Freemasonry before they came here, there is a welcome for them if they want it. One of the other powerful things in this, the array of rituals, which there was even a lodge for people who thought there's something important.
I didn't know that.
There's all these stories we keep telling ourselves.
And do you think people are surprised when they come in here and they find out how inclusive we are? I mean, not just necessarily the museum, but how we are as an organisation. Does that surprise them?
It does, because you look very forward.
Yes.
You see, our 2 guys have 20,000, we're doing all clear in hand. But once you get talking, I remember when the freshman group this fall, had a kind of journalist. I said, "You're Freemasons," in the door. And there were people coming in who'd never met anybody that, and they knew they were friends and brothers, and they were naturally, it's what it is.
It's a great way of summing it up. So, let's have a look at modern collecting. Now, we look at the past, and we've got a lot of past to have a look at. Mark, when it comes to Freemasonry, especially, it's also really important that we look at where we are today. So, modern collecting, how does that work for you?
Well, the first thing to remember is people think using the back is it's now fuel. It's like someone stealing things about coal. It's amazing. We all do it. We're doing it now. Every single person, every single moment of the day creates history. The trick is capturing it. The trick is realizing you're doing it. I mean, we're all sick of acting COVID, but we collected scribes that were made in hospitals, we collected the temporary websites. We've got the story of Freemasonry with COVID, keeping its members' morale together, serving their communities. That story was told. It might come 25 years before anybody wants to hear it again.
Yes.
But we've got it. We're also very interested in the origin stories of new lodges. Why did Freemasons decide that this is what they wanted to do? What's the story? There's a collective power, there's an anti-lodge. We need to get these stories because people don't really capture them at the time.
Yeah. So how do you decide to collect? Is it as and when, or do you have a plan of action?
We have a plan. We want to collect particularly around work news clubs, the underprivileged, what the difference for them, the university scheme, the new things. And I have quite well out of itch. I've been hunting that snow globe, which you will see in the next topic at FMT, which was actually raised money for charity. That's the place to start. Oh, that's fantastic. But again, that's the other is 300 years. It's been possible for the trade itself to Freemasons. It's not just what you think you need in your ceremonies, but the things you wear, the things you sound, chamber, part, rolling pins. Your brand is well known as going to that you are the original niche market. And so again, we're looking at what's even in our own shop in Freemasons Hall, what's been produced, what you want to buy, because that's something about you. And that's the dynamic. There is an issue with this museum that you look traditional.
Right.
I've got to make you look at the person to the issue. But it's very, very easy for people to look past that.
Yes.
So the temporary collector is very important. We also collect, again, women's Freemasonry. We collect across the family.
Now, we've had Steve Jones got this question. Steve, good to hear from you. And by the way, just quickly, apologies if the sound isn't particularly great. I'm trying to work on that at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, present. So apologies for that. But Steve Jones has got a question which finds on beautifully talking about modern collecting. And he says, what are the museum items of the future you would like to see? We've kind of touched on that, but you would like to see here in the future?
Anything that keys into principles.
Yeah.
Anything that keys into the new thing that the lodge has done, the personal stories. And again, we don't necessarily have the physical objects. If you've done something digitally, that's fine for us too. We collect digital very much.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
We need the stories now. What have your achievements been? Who are the people that matter to you? Because that's how we do it. We try to sort of people. The objects are just the way we do it.
Yeah, it's the celebration of Freemasonry, but it's also England's at the core of everything that we do. Steve, thank you very much indeed for your question. Keep those filling in via the question and answer facility on Zoom. By the way, we're talking about COVID.
Yeah.
We're talking about the months. I think once again, everyone, this is not to talk about that. This is a strange period of time for the world and this particular museum. Did you see that as an opportunity to press a reset button here when you've been looking into it?
We did. There were a lot of changes to us. Our future exhibition plans pretty much ground to halt. It's been an opportunity to rethink and start to plan again. We're going to align with simple strategy, see how we can support that, what exhibitions will work. We've already got some ideas. We've had some changes in our trustees. It was a chance to breathe.
Yes.
And fortunately, in a day of digital, I didn't get the sack because I thought the only way I could work from home was to go with a large bag and swag on the bag. But the ones that we did get massive improvement in our digital world. We didn't really have last night's tickets before that. We've now got a YouTube channel. The category is online. There's a document called Blame Online, which is a big database of all lodges and their meeting places. And the rabbit hole for me is Smith periodicals online, which is a digitized circuit collection of everything from late 1700s up to the 1920s. How-to videos are on our YouTube channel, and have a poke around. There are stories, there are object bios, there's a lot there.
we'll talk more about that a little bit later, actually. But that's interesting, isn't it? Because we wouldn't want to go back to those dark days of COVID. But for a lot of people, it was a chance to get off that conveyor belt and have a look at what's going on. So let's get back to the items. The items that you've chosen specifically for us this evening. Royal Arch. In the solid link between craft and this Royal Arch is more strong than ever before, I would say. So what have you chosen with regards to the Royal Arch and this museum?
I've chosen my antiques roadshow because I was just sitting at the desk and somebody came and said, "We're emigrating." Straight into town. Went to the book dealer and said, "This is the sign you might want it." Dirty saying is carry the bags open, fast. And there is an 18th century Bible. Excellent Grand and Royal Chapter. Now, that was the original Grand Chapter by the Premier Grand Vault, the best language in the world. It met in the tavern in Gerald Street in Soho, where the doctor's been still using the Shanghai. Oh yeah, where was it learning? Exactly, it's an answer completely in the path. But it's incredible because we already had a duel for one of the remains of that chapter, getting things on the slide, which is very novel actually. Apart from that, it's not a good letter. You could probably get away with wearing it. You think those two things put together in the same room with the first grand chapter in the entire world, with the Grand Master and the Grand Squad.
So how did you feel? So were you the person dealing with that?
Yes, I think it was absolutely amazing. I did email John Hamill to break some disorder. Oh yes, definitely. It was. I swear you never taken through the we thanks on the Grand we were able to buy it. If you want to see where it met, poor old Goose's Gridiron, where I was long demolished. Yeah, but the Turk said Paris, it's in a Chinese supermarket in Soho. So if you know where to look, you can look at the first floor and think, that's the first time Royal Arch was done.
Oh, that's incredible. What a great story. That is brilliant. And when it comes to Royal Arch, is there any writers to understand that feeling?
There's various, I can actually show the jewel on the slide. We've got beautiful things. It's not all stories, sometimes just amazing. And that jewel, it's never been about those. But you get on it with a microscope. The detail and the quality of it.
The workmanship is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we also portrays of Duke of Cumberland as the very first Grand Principal in much more elaborate robes than they have to wear. Probably embroidered too much.
That's fantastic. So we're celebrating Royal Arch here, rightfully so. But what about any of the additional ones? Are they within this museum?
Yes, they are. In this room, I can only reference Mark and Royal Blair because they got ceremony guided to the canon. But we've got all items from all of the additional orders. We've been very fortunate, people like Scarlet that they've actually given us set to regalia. Because obviously there's a big boom in additional orders, Acorn and the rest. We tell the story of all of those images. And this is a very, very strong link between here and Mark Mason's Hall. We hosted an exhibition for 150th anniversary of Mark Mason's. We do try to tell that story.
And do you find non-Freemasons, especially quite surprised when they hear this, there's other areas of Freemasonry that can be visited?
Yeah, and they've got absolutely no idea. Yeah, they've never heard of it. When they go to the shops, it's better again. And to be fair, this grew out of the ancient Grand Lodge began the incredible diversity of the ceremony in this country. And it's a really difficult thing, which is unique to England. Because we have that ranking. Everywhere else, Royal Arch is in a lot of degrees.
Well, listen, thank you for explaining that. And I know a lot of people wanted me to ask you that question as well. So back to the artifacts that you've chosen. And we're not just a museum here. We're a library and we've got a local archive section as well. Tell me about that before we talk about a particular area.
Yeah, we've got 13,000 objects, we've got 60,000 books. Wow. And our archives. Very, very rare things. A complete run of minutes, of course, for every 40 goes to Grand Lodge since the 2020s. The longest running conference in the world. Long way and venue. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've got records for some of the oldest lodges here. We do allow them to visit in the archive room in Freemasons Hall. But again, if the lodge fails, its records its memory is preserved, and we've got a hanging file for watching the Constitution. And some of them are dead and some of them aren't. Let's forget, if you're a second, even if you're not going to watch history, do think of your history, he knows.
Yeah.
We're interested, we want our memory to be preserved.
So is there anything on display from the library at the moment that a visitor can go and explore and have a good mooch?
Yes. At the moment for the archives, the thing that excites me is a series of old books by a chap called Steve, who was kicking around London as an archaeologist in the 1720s, and trying to work out what sort of symbol would be. Incredible watercolours. We'll probably never know who's right, but they have to be beautiful. Powerful figures, atrocious. All like some more Wallace and Gromit. We've also got 3 old charges on display. Those are the documents that the real stonemasons to be allowed to use, and very on display for that provides the Constitution. And according to the Constitution, we've got books out. All of the editions of the Constitution on show, including the first edition with the final frontispiece. And we've got an exhibition at the moment of all the international editions, including dear old Ben Franklin, the American Revolution, producing a knockoff version. But again, that's what Royal Freemasonry of the United States.
Oh, fantastic. And if anybody wants to access those archives for their own research, and we'll talk about the family of Freemasons in a second. How do they go about doing that? Do you have to book yourself in? Do you just turn it around?
We do operate.
Yeah.
We started with COVID. It's much more sensitive, of course. Contact us, you can look at the catalog, please, and know we will operate. If you don't drop us, because we know our collection is still action, you could have that book, that archive, by the way, master object. Okay, the objects. And once there's a lovely man, he did a perfect thing about Gavin, single Gavin, which is a pity, because then missed the one made of Zeppelin, he missed the one was one of the balustrade here. Neither one has Portugal in the hand. We find a pew, you can one in the parties in New Zealand in the day, now. So you can come in research, you need to be 3 days notice.
That's too bad, isn't it?
Too bad, and there's a lot of digital stuff available. Doesn't cost anything, anybody can become a member of the library. And you become a part of a family of researchers, whether it's somebody who knows history, somebody doing family research, somebody coming in, people coming in for one of the additional degrees, and then going into history of that.
It's a superb research that we've got.
And you will make discoveries. And we were going to our certificates, we've got our school fund random. So we get students coming on. And we just said, well, don't work out. We can show you something that is seen and you can cover it. Yeah. But still, and again, we get people coming in who are not researching just Freemasonry, but they're researching civil war, they're researching 18th century. This is actually just about every subject, and it's a cause of someone.
And when it comes to researching, would you say that's the most common way of
It's very
yeah? It seems to be really huge at once. And I think that's thanks to the TV shows that are on the moment, and also people just wanting to know if there's any Freemasons in the family.
Yes, we get a lot of people. If it's before 1920, all the records we do are digitized. You can search one as a student, which is incredibly simple to do and very high quality. After that, you post more fee. It's actually got my colleague Martin going down into the bowels of Freemasonry and actually look.
If a bit of grafting, why don't blow away the problems?
It's more of an art than a science. I'm very good at it. If your name is Arbuthnot in the village in Wales, we're on. If your name is Smith, it's an gosh.
Might take a bit more time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Occasionally gets down to 2 or 3 names and think which one of these 3. But it's doable. And we do want to connect with that. Members too. They become a new Freemasons. They think, well, what's any of my family not being Freemasons? I'm very often involved
because I joined Freemasonry online. Didn't have any members of my family, but I just wanted to dig deep and see for any members who were Masons over the years. So before we move on, let's talk about something sparkling and shiny, and those artifacts, those objects that make your eyes and heart sing.
Diamonds. The thing is, the collection's got lots of sparkling stuff. Because, like I said, Freemasons buy things, Freemasons present things. People are amazing silver cups that almost like a biography of the man. You've got pocket watches. Sometimes they've got Freemasonry in the front, and you open them up and wine, and Yeah, there's the symbolism on the inside. Ceramics, export porcelain if you're rich. There's not the bust to wear if you're not. And any of you can fill your house. So, chamber pots, got them. Rolling pins, got them. Yeah, chair, mantle pot, yes. There's the marshals on display case. Teapot, yes, got a teapot. Snuff boxes. Fine enamel, you know, that sort of thing. Or it was metal and wood. That's the thing. These are such human objects.
And what's lovely about is sometimes artifacts and objects have a story behind them, and sometimes not. It can just be the fact that we enjoy looking at them for no other reason than that.
And that works.
Yeah.
There was a sort of tyranny about it, it has to be storytelling, but even in this gallery, when there's a collar chain by French Freemasons, and if you know what it means, it's fascinating. But if you don't, it just yeah, when we did the exhibition about the jewelry, and all the raw jewels were out, and I was swaying them over there in the sort just they're very, very charming. Bit of a magpie.
But it's as simple as that, isn't it? So all of these wonderful items and objects and monsters, you can come see them all here in the Museum of Freemasonry. So thank you for choosing those for us. Really enjoyed that. Before we say goodbye, a few more things I'd like to ask you. So how would you recommend Freemason makes the most of this particular museum? Because you've always got things going on.
Yes. We've always got an exhibition, we've got the permanent gallery here. I said online resources blogs. You can burrow down to the website. We've got objects, we've got stories, we've got symbolism decoded, obviously not like Sol, because we have cited movies. We're very much full members. If you visit, it's your museum. If you happen to come to a meeting in the Grand Temple, the buildings are members only in those days. So you've got the museum to yourself. So make the most of it. If you're in here, do say hi. Come in, greet us, have a chat, and you might well find there's things that are relevant to you. Military history, and these points. Ceramics, glass, yeah, jewel collector, steel, and portraits. Now we're here for you. And don't forget your provincial museums, of course, because Worcester, Warrington, Kent, all accredited.
Yeah.
And there are many others besides, all of which are doing a similar job to us, but local to you. And we all talk to each other.
So how would it work for those who want to see some of the things that you've not got on display? Because you can't have anything on display. I mean, it'd be impossible.
It's totally impossible. You literally just say, I'm interested in this. We can advise. And I don't need you to be researching. I don't need you to be particularly serious. If you just want to see something, I'll get it out for you. You want to see a certain student? Fine.
That's
That's we're here for you. We are a service industry. And I've never met anybody who had a chat about learns and finding something didn't work.
Oh, that's what it's all about. Peter Ashton. Peter, a very good evening to you. Thank you for stopping by and contributing to our Sovereign Live this evening. He would like to know, are you planning to expand the museum? Because there's a lot of stuff in here, as we've spoken about, and there's a lot of stuff that could be here. Wonderful items not on display. Any place to take over a little bit more space?
It's always Freemasons, get in the way. We've got our space and that would be it. We do know. In fact, if you're near the City of London until the middle of November, Treasures of Gold and Silver Wire in the Gilded Gallery, George VI and William King William IV's Regalia on loan. And if you don't want to pay £10 to go in, you look for more and see them from there.
That's one way.
We do that. In the Tercentenary, we hold across the nation. And we've had some the World Collection this year. We've got a loan going to Finland. So again, we do try to get the collection out of the stores and to other places when we can.
To spread the message far and wide. And we talked about the 1723 Constitutions exhibition earlier on. Very, very successful, I have to say. You must be delighted with that. How long is it on for and will the place?
In theory, it starts at the end of the year. I think it's finalised well since next summer. Which so take the opportunity because most of the things in there, sensitive, they won't be seen again for a generation. So make the most of that and do visit Rick's website. Everything should be new. As I said, we're at reset. The trustees are producing a new strategy for the post-COVID museum. One idea perhaps is to take the story on from 1723 into the second half of the 1700s. The ancients going along from the birth of the Royal Arch. Which would be great.
Yeah.
Not guaranteeing. One of many ideas under the second moment. Please we meet again in this room. We'll pick up with a new exhibition to tell you about.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll have to go back and do it again. Mark, I'd love to listen to you. I've learned so much, and everybody watching has learned so much as well. Because, as I said earlier, we think we know about this wonderful place. The jewel in our crown and Freemasonry, but I think we've discovered lots. What are your priorities for the future? So you've been here since 1999. No plan to disappear. We got that live on the Southern Live earlier. What are your plans for the future? What are you looking at? 5 years, 10 years for the next generation?
It's exciting now the most. If we work on some strategy, we need to capture what's happened, which Freemasonry is changing with modernising. That's going to be something to document because we're here to display, but we're also here to accumulate effect. It's the modern stuff for us. But of course, you know, something's happened to the cover there. Think it'll take the problems. We wouldn't say no, but that's very much serving the membership, serving you, and telling your story. Because the stories keep coming. The other thing, of course, is history can be really in support of organisation change. I know the fact that Sir Brian Ullman, our then chair, was doing all sorts of strengthening the department. I was front and centre, writing articles, doing displays, saying change happens. We've coped with every change before, and if you do it again, we're an amazing department. And I think Freemasonry, it's tiny things, with incredible survival. There's no reason it should have moved outside London. But it got across the channel and global. There's no reason it should have lasted for 10, 50 years, but here we still are. It's that story, the future of that story, that drives me to do it.
Mark Dennis, curator of the Museum of Freemasonry. I've loved talking to you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've certainly learned. And have you, sir, enjoyed your summer live experience?
I have.
Hang on, let's pause there.
I'll tell you when I've seen the video.
Yeah, we'll watch it back there afterwards. It's been lovely to see you, Mark. Thank you for hosting so valuable today. And this place, what a wonderful place. And everybody should come and visit it. Ladies and gentlemen, and brethren, one for your diary. Our next Southern Live will be on Tuesday, the 7th of November, where our topic will be Freemasonry and the services. As we approach Armistice Day, we reflect on those who have chosen the life of service and how that camaraderie and connection merges beautifully with Freemasonry. So that's Tuesday, the 7th of November. We're live. Put that date in your diary, and as always, 7:30 UK time. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you register for solomon.ugme.org.uk full of useful and fantastic content, your daily advancement in Masonic knowledge. Until our next happy meeting, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you here next week. Good evening, everybody.